Hello, everyone. We're going to look at the astrological chart for Mark Zuckerberg and the stock Facebook, or Meta. Remember, this isn't investment advice, astrology isn't real, and no one can predict the stock market. Mark Zuckerberg was born May 14th, 1984 in White Plains, New York. Birth time unknown. His sun sign is Taurus, the bull, and moon sign is Scorpio, the scorpion. Taurans like to have stability, regularity, routine. This all seems at odds with Facebook's motto of move fast and break things. But when you look at Zuckerberg, does he really seem like he's moving fast? Can you imagine him running around the room like a madman? I think he's pretty slow and steady, like a bull just plodding along. Even look at the fact that he wears the same thing every day. That is a man who likes regularity and routine if I've ever seen one. And romantically, he's been with the same woman since college. That's more of the stability and security that Taurans love. Another thing about Taurans is that, like all earth signs, they are hard workers. They are good at building their own businesses. Planning is a particular strength of Taurus. Taurans are also interested in finance and money. Taurus is the bull, after all, and bull market, bull zodiac symbol, it all makes sense. But Taurans should be more into the slow and steady growing stocks, like a bank stock or a utility stock or something like that, rather than a fast growing volatile tech stock. Who knows? Maybe that's what eventually Facebook will evolve into. We'll have to wait and see. Now, contrasting the sun sign, Taurus, is Zuckerberg's moon sign, Scorpio, which is the polar opposite of Taurus. Taurus is low energy, but Scorpio is high energy, the highest energy in the zodiac. So combining Taurus's love of money and finance with Scorpio's high energy, and we start to see where the move fast and break things energy comes from. It came from his moon. We also want to look at Mercury, the ruler of communication and technology. Mark Zuckerberg's Mercury is in Aries, and Aries always wants to be first. They are the first sign in the zodiac, and they are obsessed with being number one. That feels like some more of the Facebook energy. So, we have a combination of Taurus's hard work and planning, plus Scorpio's high energy, and Aries' desire to be number one. And that is how Mark Zuckerberg used his astrological gifts to become a successful CEO. But I'm going to be honest with you and point out a Taurus trait that I don't see in Mark Zuckerberg. Taurans are ruled by the planet Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, and charm. As a result, Taurans are usually very charming and good-looking, but they sometimes have a weight problem because they love rich food, like beef brisket and ribs and sweet baby rays. Yum, yum, yum. But Mark Zuckerberg is known for his lack of natural charisma and charm, and many of his hairstyles are widely mocked. And for all the criticism he gets, he never gets fat-shamed. It doesn't look like Venus is working her magic on this Tauran. I even had to check to make sure Venus was not in retrograde on his birthday. It wasn't. It was actually in Taurus, so he should have been extra hot. Maybe Venus was neglecting his beauty and instead giving him what seems like a stable and harmonious relationship. Unlike many rich people and non-rich people, he is free from messy divorces and angry exes. A drama-free love life, in my opinion, is a wonderful gift from Venus. So what does the near future hold for Mark Zuckerberg? It's actually a very calm next couple of months. We've got the planet Chiron entering his sun sign. You might not have heard of the planet Chiron before because it's not really a planet, it's more like a comet planet. It goes around the sun between Saturn and Uranus and was only discovered in the 1970s. Astrologists still debate over what it represents, but the general consensus is that it represents self-healing, a good time to heal from the metaverse flop. Chiron will go into retrograde on August 4th, and then it will leave Taurus on September 17th. So August 4th to September 17th, we have Chiron in retrograde, interrupting Zuckerberg's self-healing. And Facebook is a Taurus too, by the way. More on Facebook's astrological chart in just a moment. After September 17th, Chiron will still be in retrograde, but at least it won't be in Taurus. So the effects will be weaker. And for the rest of the year, not much is happening in Taurus. When your sun sign is empty, that's when the characteristics of your birth chart can have their effect uninterrupted. So let's look at this Facebook birth chart. Facebook's stock was born, or IPO'd, on May 18th, 2012, 9:30 a.m. in New York City. Its sun and its moon are both Taurus. Its rising sign is Cancer. It also has Jupiter and Mercury in Taurus. Those are good planets to have. Zuckerberg, did you consult an astrologer when you chose this date? Jupiter represents growth and expansion. Of course, we saw that with this Facebook stock. Mercury is technology, travel, and communication. We saw that clearly. Pretty much the definition of Facebook is facilitating communication around the globe using technology. So Zuckerberg and Facebook are both Taurus. They both have the self-healing Chiron until August 4th. Then it will go retrograde and inhibit self-healing until September 17th, when it leaves Taurus. At that point, it will still inhibit self-healing, but it won't affect Taurans quite as bad anymore. Chiron's retrograde won't end until January 6, 2027. Now, one thing we do have for Facebook is a birth time, 9:30 a.m., when the stock market opens. That makes Facebook stock a Cancer rising sign, and practically every other stock is also Cancer rising, since the rising sign is determined by the time of day you were born, and most stocks were born when the market opens at 9:30 a.m. Currently, in Cancer, we have the Sun, the Moon, and Mercury in retrograde. The Sun indicates that this is a time for renewal and renewed energy. The fact that the Sun is in the rising sign will put a spotlight on the stock until it leaves on July 22nd. The Moon moves fast. It'll be gone from Cancer in 2 days, but it brings a time when the inner emotions of the stock match its outward perception. However, Mercury is in retrograde in Cancer, so that may miscommunicate the image you see of Facebook's true emotional self. On July 22nd, 23rd, Mercury ceases retrograde and the Sun leaves Cancer. Mercury stays in Cancer until August 9th, helping with communication, technology, and travel. Then on August 12th, Mars enters Cancer. Mars brings ambition, drive, and boldness. It should be a bullish time until Mars leaves on September 27th. But remember, this isn't investment advice. Astrology isn't real, and no one can predict the stock market. I hope this was fun for you.